Power, precision, control. Everything you need to be world's strongest man. Welcome to Monarch Beach Golf Links, the venue for the opening 2 events of this year's World's Strongest Man. 10 competitors have qualified through 5 grueling events, including 2 Englishmen, Mark Felix, the plasterer from Blackburn, and Britain's strongest man, Terry Hollands. Lying ahead of them, that's one hell of a challenge. The champion is American Phil Pfister, but Mariusz Pudzianowski wants his title back. There's England's Terry Hollands, the Estonian Tarmo Mint. From America, Dave Ostland, Poland's Sebastian Venter, Don Pope from the USA, England's Mark Felix. 1998 champion Sweden's Magnus Samuelsson and the young American Kevin Nee, all chasing the same goal, to become world's strongest man 2007. Well, quite a lineup then, and the first event is one of the most brutal openers ever in World's Strongest Man. With the details, 2 former winners, Bill Kazmaier, and first, Sven Karlsson.
Thank you, Martin. The first event of World's Strongest Man 2007, the loading race. Barrels and kegs. Varies in weight from 100 to 110 kilo. We've seen these barrels before in the qualifier. But if carrying them isn't enough, they even have to place them on these platforms. Bill Kazmaier, what's the secret?
The secret is being super fit as a strongman. Racing back and forth, their heart rate is going to go over 200 beats. Their breath is going to be squeezed out as they hold onto the barrels. And the most difficult task is actually getting the last one on top of this platform.
Let's see who it will be to win the first event of World's Strongest Man 2007.
Well, there are 10 men in this event, and I think all of them have looked at this opening event and said, is this how tough this is going to be? Because this looks brutal. This loading race is not for the faint of heart.
Magnus Samuelsson,
who won this event way back in 1998, comes in plenty of confidence.
Lane 2, Kevin Nee from the United States.
Yeah, the man from Boston. A young man, currently a student at Arizona State University.
Lane 3, Mark Felix from England.
The plasterer from Blackburn, who just keeps getting better and better.
Lane 4, Sebastian Venter from Poland.
Unofficially now, Poland's number 2, behind the great Pudzianowski.
Lane 5, Dave Ostland.
The 6'7" giant from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, he's got long arms and long legs, Ostland, and a lot of people think, well, that could make him a favourite here, especially with getting hold of these barrels, because it's about grip. And hello, Venter's in a bit of trouble here. Ostland and the rest of them are all running pretty well, but Venter's in trouble. And look at the speed with which Ostland is covering this course. There's a bit of cardiovascular work to be done here, and all the others, including Mark Felix, are having trouble with the load part of this, and this is where Ostland's height is really paying off. He doesn't have so far to lift those things.
I think they're absolutely right. This could well be the most brutal event ever. First event ever. Maybe event full stop ever. This is going to tell... really sort the men from the boys here. And
Felix just cannot get that barrel on. I mean, this really is favouring the big guys, and it's the 6'7" Dave Ostland that has made short work of a field that came into this with dread. Ostland has walked through it. All the others are still virtually on the start line. Venter, after that slow start, looks like he's going to pick up some decent points here. But look at the state of Felix and Kevin Nee. They can't even get that barrel up there.
Well, you can hardly call Mark Felix a titch. He's 6'3" and has probably the longest arms in the business. I don't know what's wrong with him. Old Maggie over there at the back, he's, well, his bad back. Oh, he nearly got the 4th one in. Puts it up for pride. Kevin Nee and Mark Felix, what a shock.
What about this? That's a shock. Dave Ostland off to an absolute flyer. They all came into this one saying, I don't think I like the look of this very much, and you can now see why. Look at the problems Mark Felix is having. It was only Ostland that made that look easy. So, heat 1. in the record books. What do we get from Heat 2? Don Pope has spent most of 2007 nursing one ailment or another, but boy, has he come good at just the right time.
Tarmo Mitt from Estonia.
The Estonian was a 5th place finish last year.
Lane 3, Terry Hollands from England.
Big Tell, getting better and better from a failure to qualify for the final 2 years ago to 7th in the final last year. The defending champion, nursing a bad back.
Lane 5, Mariusz Pudzianowski from Poland.
And huge support here for Pudzianowski, the 3-time former champion, but was knocked off his pedestal by Pfister last year and is desperate to get back. And all 5 of these would have seen the problems that some of these fellas had. And it's not so much carrying the barrel, it's getting them onto that podium. Pudzianowski's made a fast start, Pfister's made a slow start, and Tarmo Mitt on the far side in the yellow is certainly having some problems. But Pudzianowski is tearing through this right now. Mitt and Don Pope over there on the far side are both struggling at the moment. Oh, something's happened to Mitt there. He's just dropped the barrel and walked away from it. And Mitt is in some distress. Pudzianowski's not. Terry Hollands is going pretty well, but he's looking like a sprinter out there against middle distance runners, Mariusz Pudzianowski. What a time. He's destroyed Dave Austin's 44.10. Terry Hollands is not going bad either. Oh, Terry's got inside Ostlund as well. Pudzianowski's leading the cheerleaders, but that's bonus points for Terry Hollands. And what on earth has happened to Tarmo Mitt, who's walked away from this course? Don Pope is slow and steady. Mitt is getting some attention. This doesn't look good for the Estonian.
10 seconds.
And Don Pope doesn't want to know about this, does he? He's getting out of town.
5 seconds.
Yeah, you can give him 5 minutes. He's not going to have a go at that one.
He's pointing at his bicep as well. That's pretty bad news from Tarmo Mitt. It's pretty obvious his biceps up by his shoulder. And that'll sadly be the end of Tarmo's competition. But how about Mariusz Pudzianowski? Talk about biceps. Look at the size of those. Ripped to the bone. But Terry Hollands, great start as well.
Happy now. Excellent work.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Second on that event, good. Wasn't too far behind Mariusz. And I've got a bad event next on the safe lift, so I needed a good result here, and it looks like I got it, so I'm happy.
Pudzianowski wins, but 2nd place for Hollands confirms him as a real contender. Ostlund and Pfister also impressive, but there's agony for Tarmo Mitt as he tears a bicep in the opening event. The Estonian will play no further part. Mariusz Pudzianowski has taken the first step towards regaining his title. Join us after the break for more action.
Yes, welcome back to sun-drenched Southern California and the final of the 2007 World's Strongest Man. Next up, the safe lift. And this is not an easy one at all. Those safes swing around in the breeze. Not that there's much of a breeze here in Anaheim, but it's all about keeping control. Well, heavier than in the qualifications, Kevin Nee is the man that's set the bar highest at the moment with 10. Terry Hollands, terrific start in that first event. And he's in direct head-to-head competition with the old boy, Magnus Samuelsson. Picked up a 6th place in that opener. That really did open the eyes of these fellas. Now, it's about controlling the weight here as much as anything, because as you can see, it's a little bit breezy, and once those safes start to swing, you lose control, and when you've lost control, you can't lift. It's that simple, and Terry Hollands has made a steady start, I suppose, is the best way to say it. Samuelsson's going well, but Terry doesn't look happy at all.
I think this is Terry's real bogey event. In training before this, this is the event he just couldn't get his head round. He likes to press things slowly and steadily with those huge arms of his, and he swing around. If you have to jerk it up like Samuelsson there. That's it. That's great. 7 reps for Samuelsson. He's hunting down Nee's 10 here.
Terry, I mean, he's... How much of this is psychological from the big fella? It's almost like he's beaten before he starts. His body language is all wrong as he came up.
It's the old saying, paralysis by analysis. And I think Big Terry's he's quite a cerebral, strong man. He thinks about it almost too much sometimes.
Sometimes it's best not to think about it, just do it. Samuelsson has gone into first place, although there's some big guns to come. Terry Hollands, though, in a field that's reduced to 9 because of Tarmo Mid's injury. And I think he's going to have to settle for 9th place here because 3 reps isn't very good at all. Samuelsson, well, he's got 11. How good is that going to be? And Samuelsson says enough's enough, but Terry Hollands is going to get knocked right back down amongst the also-rans here. And if Terry ever wants to win this thing, he can't have a weak event. He's got to eliminate these problems that he builds for himself.
Well, you just don't know. Terry can fight back from this. He knew he had to get this out of the way. I think that's why he's looking, you know, disappointed, but the shrug of the shoulders says everything. Now, Samuelsson, he was probably banking on this kind of event. Good numbers for him. Look at Terry's technique. He's going to have to work on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mariusz Pudzianowski from Poland.
Pudzianowski made that first event, as did Dave Ostlund, by the way. Looked ridiculously easy. Ostlund, Pudzianowski and Hollands absolutely obliterated that loading race. Let's see how they get on in safe mode. Pudzianowski's off fast. And Ostlund, it's these big guys, isn't it? Look how much trouble Ostlund had just getting 1 lift done there. Pudzianowski, squat and more compact, much more the power lifter. Whereas Ostlund, with those long limbs of his, he doesn't enjoy this event at all.
Look at the reps Pudzianowski's doing as well. He's even holding it up there for a second, longer than the others, just to say, hey, I am the best, and I don't even have to cheat or even bend the rules a little. Watch this. Right up there. Thank you very much.
And Ostlund is going to struggle to get anywhere near Terry Holland's 3. This is good news for Terry. It's a disaster for Big Dave. Pudzianowski's target is 11.
30 seconds, down!
30 seconds still to go.
Ostlund's done.
5 seconds to go. 5 seconds, down!
Well, Pudzianowski goes into first place. Ostlund just cannot lock those elbows. Pudzianowski knows he's got to put a few more on the board with some good men to come. Ostlund's just got to try and find something, anything. There's Magnus. Just seen Pudzianowski blow by him, and you can hear in the crowd Marius's father leading the cheers here for his little boy. They won't give him that 16th lift. He ran out of time. Marius is not happy.
He's not happy at all, is he? He's worried about Phil Pfister, you know. Pfister had a bad first event, but Pfister's trained hard at this. Do you remember last year when Pfister managed to press out the rocks? Look, there's Pudzianowski's dad in the background.
He's a little fella, isn't he?
Phil Pfister from the United States.
Well, Pfister did okay in the opening event. Took a 4th place. Sebastian Venter, who was just behind Pfister in 5th. So these two fellas are very much in the mix here if they get a good event.
But let's not forget last year when Pfister really started the charge of his comeback on the overhead pressing event, didn't he, on the stone? So can he do it again?
And Venter, a terrific lifter. Pfister has been nursing a back issue. Venter, who is built for this event, just moves in front, 15. Pudzianowski had to set the bar high because he knew that guys like this were still to come. Venter's off to a flyer. Pfister is doing okay. They've both gone by Terry Hollands. That's bad news for Big Tell. Look at Venter. I mean, he's lost controls of the safe. They're going off at a 45-degree angle. They're heading for the golf course. But Venter is keeping them there.
That shot-putting background for Venter. Look at him, explodes up with the legs. He's put nearly 20 meters, Polish champion. So much power, Venter. This isn't what Pfister wanted, did he?
No, it's looking bad for Pfister because of what Venter's doing. And Venter is now at virtually a full 90 degrees and getting close to Pfister's platform, but he's still getting the lift. One more puts him in the first place. There you go. They'll give him that. Yeah, it's a Poland 1 and 2 here. And Pfister looking to try and add, if he can. Good numbers for Phil Pfister. I think Venter's more or less flamed out at 16. No, he's found another one. That's tremendous. And are they going to give Pfister a 13th? No, they're not. And now it's Pfister's turn to glower at the officials. But they got that one spot on. That was not an extra lift from Phil Pfister. No matter how hard he looks at the referee, that is not 13 for Pfister. He'll have to settle for 12.
17 reps, the last one on one leg. Not bad from Sebastian Venter. As usual, Pudzianowski is in the top two. Phil Pfister has to settle for third. Well, Terry Holland said this was a bad event for him, and he wasn't wrong. Just 3 lifts and 8th place. Pudzianowski still on top. Sebastian Venter moves into 2nd place. The champion is on the shoulders of the leaders, but Terry Hollands has dropped out of the top 3. Mark Felix is rock bottom. Dave Ostlund has slipped into the bottom half. To see if Terry Hollands can make amends in the next event, let's join our commentators, Nick Halling and Colin Bryce.
Well, we love the Fingals Fingers. It's a question of how many fingers you can flip through 180 degrees, how fast you can do it. And Sebastian Venter is the man that is setting a very hot pace here. That's a world record for Venter.
Terry Hollands!
So for Terry Hollands and everybody else, I think it's not a case of thinking about what Venter's done, it's a case of thinking about what you've got to do.
Phil Pfister!
Who's seen his own world record in Fingals Fingers destroyed by Sebastian Venter.
Take your position.
Well, what a world-class field when you've got a couple of guys like this down in the sort of middle of the pack. Well, Pfister's off to a fly. Nothing Phil Pfister likes more than a challenge, and he's seen his world record destroyed, so he's going to want to come and snap it straight back. Powered his way, bludgeoned his way through 3. I mean, talk about economy of effort. He's destroying these fingers. Hollands is not going bad at all, but Pfister is setting an incredible pace. Hollands tucked in just behind him. Pfister's got a chance at this, you know. Oh, he's just going to miss it. Not by much. 31.78. He was inside a second of Venter. Hollands has slowed, but it's still good for Big Tell. Oh, Pfister wanted that, didn't he?
Oh, and he nearly had it as well. That was tight. I don't believe it. He's actually throwing it up. It's leaving his hands halfway up. Did you see how explosive Pfister is? Well, he didn't manage to beat Venter, though. Hollands perhaps a little disappointed. He really wanted to go sub 40 seconds for the first time ever, and he didn't manage that. Pfister's comeback isn't happening this year.
Ladies and gentlemen from Sweden, Magnus Samuelsson.
Samuelsson, he's one of the contenders still.
From Poland, Mariusz.
But Pudzianowski is the leader. However, if there is one weakness in this man's armory, this is it. He's not fast, and with Venter and Pfister going off like a couple of greyhounds at Catford, it really is going to be asking an awful lot.
He's done this before, though. He's gone quick to the 3 and just starts to burn out at the 4.
Well, this is amazing from Pudzianowski so far, and it's seeing Venter and Pfister, I think, that's motivated him. He's absolutely blasted his way through 4. Can he finish the job? And he's destroying Samuelsson. This is good. Look at the time. Oh, my goodness. Weakness? What weakness? He didn't manage to beat Venter, but he stayed ahead of Pfister, and that's a huge advantage for him. And this is a Poland 1-2. But for Pudzianowski, that could be the event that sees him reclaim his crown, because he wasn't expected to do well here.
He's jumping over and grabbing Venter, who's broken the world record, but it's pretty ice cold. I mean, this is almost as good as winning the title for Mariusz. It's been his Achilles heel for years. How good for him.
You beat your best time with over 14 seconds from last year. I've never seen you so happy, never.
Yes, because this is all the time my bad events. And now 2 months straight, 3 times every day, 1 hour training finger. And now very, very fast up.
It's so good, doesn't it? It really feels good when you finally make progress in an event that we've always been bad in.
Who train hard and win.
So now you think you can win?
I hope. Now later is my best events, I show you.
Sebastian Venter's win is overshadowed by the Dominator's amazing improvement. Phil Pfister forced into 3rd again. More disappointment for Terry Hollands as he has to settle for 7th place. Mark Felix is having a really tough time of it. Poland is starting to run away with this final. If Phil Pfister isn't careful, it will be too late to stage a repeat of that 2006 fight back. Hollands continues to fall and is now out of the top 5. Don Pope moves up a notch. Mark Felix looks in trouble. There's little doubt who the star of the show is at the moment. Can any of these guys stop Mariusz Pudzianowski? Next up, one of the cruelest events in strongman. It's the deadlift.
Yes, cruel is the word. If you want to get anywhere in Southern California, you got to have a car. But to explain how the deadlift works and what that car's doing there, here's Sven.
Car deadlift. A real car this time. We've seen this before, but now it's a real running car. The weight, 345 kilo. That's equal the last barrel in the qualifier. The athletes has to get down and pull up as many reps as possible within the 75-second time limit.
Well, Phil Pfister, one of the big 3 at the moment, only managed 2, and a man trying to catch up and overhaul him, Magnus Samuelsson, well, he did okay with 4. Dave Ostland also on the fringes at the moment. Well, he did his cause no harm whatsoever with 5. Kevin Nee, who's way down the pack, impressed everybody with 7. To take the lead, Don Pope, as you can see, and Sebastian Venter struggling as well. So with Venter and Pfister struggling, there's a chance for Terry Hollands to get back closer to the big 3. But of course, Pudzianowski is the man that they're all going to be looking at. You would think this is an event that Terry Hollands can do well at. Never mind the sartorial look. That's the odd socks look that never works. Your mum always tells you off for that, doesn't she?
Well, at least he's out of the gorgeous orange he wore in the heat. Oh, first one was good, wasn't it? Quick. I mean, this is the heaviest deadlift ever in a World's Strongest Man final. Got to lock the hips through. It's quite difficult when the bar comes in at you. Just the way it pivots back at you. It's very hard to stand up straight.
Now look, 5. He's being told there's a lot of time, but he's just having a little regroup here.
You know, something Terry wasn't happy about was just the actual width of the bar there. He's trying to get his hands in between, and it's only about 3 foot wide, which for a normal human's easy, but Terry's got such massive hips and legs. He can just get his hands in.
Now, can he match Kevin Nee's 7? We'll have to go to the stopwatches to separate them. He doesn't want to be thinking of that. He wants to be sticking another one on top. If he can get another one on here, he will go into first place, and that really will be extraordinary. Remember, good guys like Don Pope and Sebastian Venter barely managed 1, and he's done 8. And if Terry's got any sense, he'll look at that and say, well, you know what, I'll get out of here right now, but with Pudzianowski to come, can he afford that luxury? Well, in the end, it's academic. But the whistle came in and saved Terry. What a performance. He's back in the picture again.
Really super performance from Hollands. And, you know, Kevin Nee came over to train with him before this event, and Nee's a much better deadlifter. Was beating him in training, and Hollands gets the better of him in the final.
How much tougher was this than the qualifying deadlift?
Oh, much tougher. Definitely a lot tougher. I didn't expect to get 8 reps. I'm really pleased with that. I knew it was going to be a hard lift.
Do you think 8 reps will win this event?
No, I don't think so. I can't see Mark and Mariusz not beating that, to be honest. They're both normally way better deadlifters than I am, so no, if that holds up and I take a 3rd place, I'll be happy.
Where will Terry end up? Find out after the break when the world's 2 best deadlifters go head-to-head.
Welcome back. Now we come to the real heavyweights of deadlift. Mariusz Pudzianowski, and after him, Mark Felix. For Felix, it's been a disappointing final so far, although he's got a chance at re-establishing some pride. But as for Pudzianowski, well, he's the leader, and the really good news is his closest 2 challengers have really flamed out in the deadlift. Sebastian Venter managed just 1. Phil Pfister just 2. So anything past 2 is bonus points for Mariusz Pudzianowski, and he started off as if he means to really put some daylight between himself and the rest of the field.
Already looking in some discomfort. But we've seen this before from Pudzianowski. He keeps grinding reps out, and I can see already he's got a little baby oil on the thighs there. Just uses the bar to jacket up the thighs.
Well, he's into second place already, and I think he's beaten Terry Hollands there. I think that time was faster than Terry's, so he's looking at maximum points with Mark Felix to come. This could be the defining moment of the 2007 final. This could be the moment that Mariusz Pudzianowski reclaims his crown. He's in the lead. Can he make double figures here? Not quite. Yes, he does. They've given it to him.
How ugly is that technique, Nick? Look at the pain. He's almost resting it on his thighs there. It's a real tearjerker just looking at it. The pain and bruising he'll have on his thighs after this event. He's really gambling.
You don't get bonus points for beauty in this event. It's all about... Oh, how can you do that? How can you do that without breaking your bones?
Oh, he didn't get it. He dropped it. All that effort, and he dropped it. And the Polish crowd aren't happy either. Tough decision from the referee there.
Well, I don't think they can complain, and whatever they were chanting in Polish, I think, again, you have to say the referee got that one spot on. Pudzianowski thought he'd stolen one, but no, there's the look that says not happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, from England, Mark Felix!
It's been a horrible event for the big fella from Blackburn so far. No disgrace to make the final, for goodness sake, but anytime you get this far, you really want to come out and make a statement. And for Mark, the statement has been, this is all about experience. However, he can restore an awful lot of personal pride with a big effort here. Pudzianowski's 10 is his target, and if you had to ask Mark Felix which event he really liked, this is the one.
Well, people have said that his back isn't as strong as all that, and this is a great chance to prove it for Felix. He thought he was going to beat Pudzianowski last year, but he drew equal with him in this event in the final. What an opportunity to beat him.
And he does. He matches his 10, but it was a faster time. But he won't want to stop there. He'll want another one. The big fella from Blackburn says, yeah, there you go, 11. And wasn't that good to see all these fans, including all the Poles, roaring him on? Everybody really enjoyed that. And he's not finished yet. Yes, he is. Yeah, 11's good enough. I thought he was going to go for a bit of the macho posturing there, and I think Mark said, you know what? I think 11's good enough, and I'm stopping right there.
Well, time for a bit of macho posing now. That's what... cue the posing. Good on you, Mark Felix. You've deserved it. You've had a bad start to this World's Strongest Man final, but in the event you're best at least he's hit his potential.
He's plastered the opposition.
Mark, did that confirm you being the best deadlifter in the world?
Oh, yeah, definitely. If I needed more reps, I would have taken a break all year, but I decided to just go all the way. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Congratulations, unbelievable.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Felix wins. Pudzianowski falls foul of an eagle-eyed referee, and Hollands is back on track. It looks like Pfister will be handing his crown over, though. The heaviest deadlift ever at World's Strongest Man. Not ideal for a man with a back injury. The mighty Mariusz is now 8 points clear. Terry Hollands has profited from a poor showing from Pfister and Venter in the deadlift. He's back up into 4th. Ostland is just a point behind Hollands. Samuelsson 2 points back. Now I'm driving along the famous Highway 1, which runs the length of the American western seaboard from San Diego in the south to Seattle up near the Canadian border in the north. It's one of the longest drives in the world, and one thing's for sure, you certainly wouldn't want to drag a fire engine along it. Sven, over to you.
Thank you, Martin. The truck pull. We have seen this before in all shapes and forms, but for the first time in World's Strongest Man, we're going to pull a fire truck. Sitting here with firefighter Brian Morris. Tell us about this.
Well, this fire engine here is about our oldest fire engine we have in the city, a little over 20 years old. Right now it currently has over 2,000 feet of fire hose on it. When it's full, we have about 500 gallons of water, which it currently is full right now. And I'd say collectively, with all the weight, the fire hose and the water that we have on board here, we weigh close to 20 tons.
Well, we're going to have a tough pull. My tip would be Phil Pfister, excellent truck puller and former firefighter.
who's going to get a lift by pulling the fire engine? You would think it's the guys that are physically big here. Magnus Samuelsson, well, 48.01 was a pretty good time, but only he and Venter have completed the course so far. And Phil Pfister, with that albatross around his neck, he's the guy that Sven does tips. That's usually the kiss of death right there, but you would think that Phil, with his firefighting background and that raw power of his, and it's the fact that these guys can use their arms in this event, these big guys, that really sorts out who's who.
I've heard that even the governor of West Virginia has turned up to cheer Phil on. He's a real hero in his hometown of Charleston.
But could he pull that truck? I mean, the governor of California could. Arnie, where's Arnie when we need him?
You bet, no problem. Yeah, absolutely. But look at him, he's using his arms here. And I tell you what, it's the fact that the rope is there is the only thing that gives Pudzianowski a chance here. On body weight, he's so much smaller than the likes of Hollands and Samuelsson and Pfister, of course. But look at the body weight. He's using it to good use, isn't he? Wearing those rock climbing boots as well, Nick, that we've seen so many used before. It's great for friction. You can drive with the legs.
And it's about keeping going. That's the key, keeping going. Pfister looking at 48.01. I don't think he's going to quite crack that, but he should finish the course. So it's good points for Big Phil. But Pfister may be disappointed with that. I think he was looking at maximum points, and he's not going to get it.
Well, just a bit of disappointment comes over his face there when he realizes that the pull didn't come the way he thought it would.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it from Poland, Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Well, Mariusz is threatening to run away with this tournament. A good pull here on the fire engine could just cement his coronation. His father there in the crowd, his father about half Mariusz's size. But what a cheerleader he's being. And he comes from a weightlifting background, so there's no question where Mariusz got the strongman bug. And once you've got that momentum, you've got to keep it. That's what so many of the other competitors have had problems with. And it's driving those legs in, getting that grip, but then keeping those arms moving as well.
I remember last year he got beaten by Phil Pfister in this event, in that incredible comeback by Pfister. But if he can just keep this going, look at that incredible pull he's using on his arms there. His arms are stronger than almost anyone else's legs. Phenomenal stuff.
This is fast from Mariusz. Really fast. Is it another maximum for Pudzianowski? It looks like it. It really does look good for Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Well, look at this. He comes back, does an incredible Fingals Fingers, and then manages to beat Phil Pfister in what has to be Pfister's banker, the fire truck pull. This surely is Pudzianowski's year, and could well cement the fact that he is the greatest of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, from England, Terry Hollands.
Big Tell, with that great effort on the deadlift, has certainly put himself in a position to challenge for a podium finish. Obviously, he's not going to win it, not the way Pudzianowski's turning this into a procession, but a top three for Terry Hollands really would prove that he is continuing to improve year on year, and you just get the feeling that his day is going to come. Even if it's not 2007, the big fella is getting closer and closer to the summit.
I think the fact that he's won Britain's strongest man, and now he's up there, he's fighting for a podium. He stands a possibility of maybe getting fourth or even third. Wouldn't that be incredible? And it would prove to him that he's done the right decision, giving up his work and going for this title. You've only got a small window of opportunity in life, and Terry's going for it now.
And he's certainly making short work of this fire engine. He's got a chance at knocking Pudzianowski off, and I think if he can do this, well, even if he just gets second, and I think, oh, he's nicked it. He's nicked it. He's taken top spot. A great effort right on the finish line for Big Terry. You can see what it's taken out of him, everything, but it's maximum points. And that podium finish is really on for Big Tell.
That's quite a lift for Yoko Ahola, former world's strongest man there, in charge of equipment, trying to lift Big Tell off the ground. But you remember, in years previous, he'd have been on the ground for 5 minutes gasping for air. He's done a lot for his fitness.
Terry, surprised or just the best truck puller here?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tight between me and Maris, but that was one hell of a pull. As I was getting towards the end, I thought I'm not going to make this. It was getting that hard, but no, I'm really happy with that.
Congratulations, great job.
Thank you.
Victory for Terry Hollands in one of the toughest truck pulls ever. Pfister finishes way down in 5th. Pujanowski is in the top 2 again. None of the bottom half finished the course, but Don Pope managed the best distance. Nee and Felix will be disappointed. That record-equaling 4th title is Pujanowski's to lose. Terry Holland's dream of a top 3 finish is within touching distance. A top 5 finish looks beyond Mark Felix. Despite Don Pope's decent showing in the truck pull, he remains last. Can Pujanowski win that 4th title? To find out, let's head over to Huntington Beach.
Well, we're building up to the crescendo, aren't we? On the car walk, 6 down, 3 to go. Mark Felix is continuing to make his move.
Ladies and gentlemen, from England.
But Big Tell into 3rd place, and he's got Sebastian Venter in his sights as well. And first of all, though, he's got to keep Pfister out of the mix. Pfister's got good production out of this one. Currently 2nd behind Mark Felix, who's making a late charge. So what can Hollands do here? It's about controlling that car, keeping your momentum, but keeping control of that car. And Terry's got great rhythm here. He's flying. Surely he can't keep this going. Look at the concentration. Look at the effort. Oh, he's unbelievable. Can he beat 20 seconds? Incredible time for Terry Hollands.
Terry Hollands! Let's hear it for Terry Hollands!
Well, he's for real now, isn't he?
His girlfriend Carly cheering him on wherever he is, from a small contest in Kent to here on the big stage. That was incredible from Hollands.
From Poland.
And Sebastian Venter knows that if he wants to hang on to 2nd place, he's going to have to put in a big one right here. Well, Pujanowski's made it a procession. The Poles were hoping for a Polish 1-2. Terry Hollands has stepped up and said, you can forget that. I fancy number 2. And Venter's got to really fly if he's going to stay in 2nd spot. Looking good so far. Look at the effort, though. Starting to just stumble out of line a little bit. Is Terry Holland's 19.5 going to be under threat? Venter is going well. It's looking good. It's looking very good, but it's just outside. Hollands has pinched another point back on Venter, but that's good. That'll keep him in 2nd place.
I think Hollands was lucky there. He had a little stumble at the start when he picked it up and had to do a 2nd pickup. That could have been Venter's.
So Hollands puts up big numbers. Venter puts up big numbers. We know what this fellow's going to do. The guy that's missing the boat in this event is Phil Pfister.
Well, Marius, if he gets in the top 2 here, Nick, he wins it. His 4th title.
Fancy winning something like this with an event to spare. As you can see, control is all over the place. I don't think he's going to get a top 2. He's driving that car. Hey, you've got to get those wheels off the ground. Well, he's really picked up speed after that slow start and destroyed it.
His time is 14.
It was a terrible start, but he just picked up momentum.
Just the most wild power there. That's incredible. 400 kilos, a whole car, and here it goes into the crowd.
You are looking at history. A record-equaling 4th World's Strongest Man title for Marius Pujanowski.
And that equals the 2 great Icelanders, Magnus Ver Magnusson and John Paul Sigmarsson.
Marius, 1 year ago in China, you lost your title, World's Strongest Man, to an American. Now, you are again World's Strongest Man here in America. Happy now?
Yes, I'm very happy. 4 times World's Strongest Man. It's beautiful.
You know, belong to a very, very elite club. 4 times World's Strongest Man. Will he come back for title number 5 and be the one and only?
4 times is nothing. 5 times is the best. 4 is nothing. 5, I want.
Congratulations, Marius. You're the greatest.
Thank you. Polska Górą.
Another win and another 10 points for Pujanowski. Terry Hollands pips Sebastian Venter by 1/10 of a second. Kevin Nee takes 6th, 3 seconds ahead of Samuelson. Dave Ostlund is slipping away. There it is then, confirmation that Mariusz Pudzianowski is 2007's world's strongest man. Terry Hollands is within touching distance of a remarkable second place. At the bottom of the table, Ostlund and Felix will be the most disappointed.
Welcome back. We now come to the final event of this year's World's Strongest Man, the Atlas Stones. So often we've seen such high drama on the stones, but not this year because it's been a procession for Mariusz Pudzianowski. The leaders after 5, Dave Ostlund and Kevin Nee, the two Americans. Tremendous time. And how about this? The new champ goes up against last year's champ. And it was last year's champ, Phil Pfister, that won the title on the stones by beating Pudzianowski. So the two of them are together here, and Pfister with a chance to just sort of say, you know what, you might be the champion, but I'm still king of the stones. And for Mariusz, a chance to say, I'll get you back on the stones. So there's a private duel between two guys who are not only big rivals, but also have an awful lot of respect for each other as well. And who's coming out on top? It's not about times or points, this. It's about who's the governor, and it's going to be Phil Pfister. For once, something goes wrong for Mariusz Pudzianowski. He is human after all. And Pfister says, OK, I've had to give up my crown, but I've still done you on the stones, Mariusz.
Well, it's almost a bit like last year. Remember when Pudzianowski limped out the final platform and it fell off, but these two have so much respect for each other.
Oh, I'm sure Pfister will be delighted with this. Nothing worse than being the former world's strongest man, but at least you've got a little bit of pride back. But the battle now is for silver and bronze, effectively. Pudzianowski, we know, is in a league of his own right now, but the way it works on countback, if Terry Hollands beats Sebastian Venter, Hollands will take second. But Venter, you know, is absolutely determined to make this a Polish 1 and 2. Whatever happens, Terry Hollands has stepped up again. 2 years ago, he missed out on a place in the final when he exploded on the stones at an absolute disaster. Then last year, qualified, but was among the also-rans in 7th. Here he is, with a very good chance at a podium finish, and who knows, maybe even second. He's got to get ahead of Venter. Venter's not going to let that happen without a fight, and Venter's got his nose in front, not by much. Hollands coming back at him, nothing between them. Look how fast this is as well. Can Terry do it? No, Venter's got it, and he wanted that badly. Still a fantastic time for Terry Hollands, though, but Venter was highly motivated to hang on to second spot there. But what a performance from Big Tell. Fast time, 3rd place behind those two poles. That's nothing to be unhappy about.
It's the first time we've had a 1-2 since '99. Jukka Ahola and Jani Virtanen. Great effort by Venter there. What a finish.
So, congratulations, Terry. You're 3rd place in World's Strongest Man 2007.
It's fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I really wanted to win that event, but I mean, I'm happy with the performance. It's my quickest time by a mile on those stones, so I'm really happy. 3rd place for this year is good enough. I'm improving every year. First year I came here, didn't make the final. Last year 7th, this year 3rd. Hopefully next year I can move up at least 1 notch.
It needed an amazing 18.75 seconds from Sebastian Venter to get in front of the man from Dartford, Terry Hollands. The king of the stones couldn't quite live up to the regal name tag, and Pudzianowski down in 8th. So Terry Hollands just misses out on second after that epic stones encounter. Congratulations to him and Sebastian Venter, but the plaudits go to the favourite and 4-time champion, Mariusz Pudzianowski. Well, it's the easiest thing he's had to lift all day, and no doubt the most enjoyable. And how long before England's Terry Hollands gets his hands on that trophy? Joy then for Poland and Dartford as Mariusz Pudzianowski becomes only the third man to win 4 World's Strongest Man titles, and Terry Hollands forces his way onto the podium for the first time. To find out if the mighty Mariusz can be the first man to win 5 World's Strongest Man titles, join us next time. Until then, it's goodbye from sunny California.
And just in case you missed any of those large muscled men through the week, or you just want to ogle them all over again, you can, as the whole competition can be seen tomorrow from 3 on 5 Live. Next tonight on 5, NCIS.